Hey guys, welcome back to Tencast. This is episode number 2. Yes, I'm continuing this even though it didn't really work out the last episode, but I'm gonna continue this until the end of the US Open and see where we are at then in terms of support, and then I'll decide if I want to continue or not. But as of now I am doing this. So this is episode 2. I am finding it very difficult to come up with topics to talk about. So in the beginning, I'm gonna recap what has happened this week, starting from the last Sunday, where some titles were won, some ATP 250 titles. If you guys did not know about that, you can know about that here, I guess. So there were 3 tournaments going on, ATP 250 tournaments, and I think 2 new champions, 2 new ATP title winner, and one was Casper Ruud, who has already won one. So the new winners are Cameron Norrie at the Mayfield Open in Mexico and Carlos Alcaraz in Umag Open in Croatia. Their first titles. Carlos Alcaraz is very young to win the title, and I think he's close to like Nadal and Nishikori in terms of how young he is to win the title, so he's very young. And it's also Cameron Norrie's first ATP title, and Casper Ruud won the Gstaad Open in Switzerland. So those are the 3 titles won this week in the last Sunday. And the tournaments going on now are the Olympics, as all of you know, and 2 ATP 250 tournaments are also going on, the Atlanta Open and in the US, and Generali Open. I am typing here, I forgot about the Generali Open. Okay, a match is actually going on right now at the Generali Open is in Austria, so it's the Austrian Open. So yeah, those tournaments are going on right now, and in the Atlanta, it's like half of the round of 16 is over. So some of the round of 16 and some of the quarterfinals are already set here. And in the Austrian Open, some quarterfinal matches are going on. Yeah, the quarterfinals is happening right now as of when I'm recording this. I'm recording this on Thursday, just after the quarterfinals of the Olympics. So I know who is in the semifinals in the Olympics. So the quarterfinals is going on at Austria, and I think it's I'm gonna tell you all of the people who are in the quarterfinals. Krajinovic, Rinderknecht, Altmaier, Mager, and Ruud and Ymer are also there. Those are the 4 in Austrian Open. And at Atlanta, the people still in the tournament are Fritz Opelka, Nakashima, and Thompson in the quarterfinals. And in the round of 16, Isner, Jack Sock, Cameron Norrie, Nick Kyrgios, Benoit Paire and Roosevelt, and O'Connell and Sinner. Those are the people in the Atlanta Open still going on. So those are the tournaments currently going on. And the tournaments coming up on this Monday after the Olympics is the City Open in Washington Open in the US. Nadal is coming back after the French Open here. I think besides Nadal, Shapovalov and Dimitrov and people like that are playing. No one else in the top 10, I think, has yet been announced. Maybe will be announced in a few days. I don't know. As of now, it's Nadal. It's mainly pushed as the Nadal's comeback tournament as of now. And yeah, that's pretty much it in all of the tournaments happening this week and the relevant things to talk about this week. And now I'm going to move on to the Olympics, which is relevant, which is the most relevant thing this week. So the quarterfinals are just over, where Zverev, Karen Busta, Djokovic, and Khachanov are in. It's Djokovic versus Alexander Zverev, which could be a good match, depending upon how they're playing. And Pablo Carreño Busta versus Karen Khachanov is the other semi-final match. And I made the prediction in the last tournament was, besides Djokovic, I said Medvedev or Tsitsipas, and they both are out. Tsitsipas, I didn't really, I know he's in a rough patch, and like I talked about it in the last one, he still hasn't gotten, over that, and he is still struggling a bit. But Medvedev, yeah, he lost to Karen Busta. He did not really do that well this whole tournament. He had a bit of difficulty to beat Fonini in the last round. So this was pretty expected. He would lose to Karen Busta, who is playing very well now. He's been playing very well for the last few weeks at Olympics, and I think he made it to the final somewhere. Remember, he's been playing well. Anyway, so I think it's pretty fixed right now. Like, Djokovic is like 90%. I'm sure that he will get the gold, but maybe Zverev can do something, or Karen Busta or Khachanov. I don't know. Anything can happen. So yeah, so the Tsitsipas one was the upset in the third round against Humbert. There weren't that many upsets here, except that I don't think so. Yeah, everyone made it to the quarterfinals, except for Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas was the upset. I don't think anyone else was a major upset here. What else in Olympics? Okay, so Andy Murray was supposed to play in the first round, but after the doubles match, there was some problem with his hamstring or something. Yeah, he had pain in the hamstring, and he had to pull out of the tournament. The singles, he decided to play the doubles, even though it was advised not to play anything. He decided to play doubles, and I think he's out. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the doubles finals are set. I think it's Croatia versus Croatia, which is very weird, I think. Let me check. 1 second. So that is what Andy Murray. So Andy Murray didn't get to defend or play in the men's singles. In the men's doubles, it is Croatia versus Croatia, which is very weird. So the gold and silver goes to Croatia. Very weird. Murray made it to the quarterfinals, Andy Murray and Salisbury, and lost to the Croatians, Cilic and Dodic. Yeah. Anyway, that is the doubles. So, anything else? Mixed. Barty was a major upset in the women's side, I think. Yeah. The number one was out in the first round or second round or something, and it was making headlines. I don't know. Also, Osaka didn't really do that well. Also, that was also an upset in the women's side. What else at the Olympics? Novak. Yeah. Novak is really popular at the Olympics. I think he is the most popular athlete there. Everyone's asking selfies with him and photos of him with all other athletes there, and it's really, really good. And there was a photo where he does the splits with the gymnastic of Austria, or I don't know which team. That was really popping. And yeah, he's really popular there. I think the most popular athlete there. Good to see. That is one thing. And what else? Georgia. Oh yeah, I think this is correct. The women's doubles of Georgia was they were not in the Olympics because the officials in Georgia didn't give the name of the women's doubles team to the Olympics. So they came to the Olympics, but they were not registered in the Olympics draw and stuff. because the officials at Georgia didn't give the name, and they had to bow out from the Olympics, and that was an issue with that team and stuff, if you guys didn't know. I think that's pretty much it in the Olympic side. Yeah, the semifinals are set. Probably Djokovic is gonna get the gold and go for the US Open to win the Golden Calendar Slam. And Zverev, who will get the silver out of Khachanov and Busta? I think Karen Busta is playing very well. So I think Busta is going to make it to the final. Maybe put some pressure on Djokovic. Not likely, but I don't know. Yeah. I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about the Olympics. I don't think there's anything else to talk about this week, considering anything. So let's now move on to the topics I've come up with for this week. It was really hard to come up. I was just going through the top players, and I was like, okay, I talked about the big three the big three the last episode, and Medvedev, Tsitsipas. Who else is there? Thiem and Zverev. So I'm going to talk about Thiem and Zverev in this one. I don't know how to come up with the topics. Maybe you could suggest some topics in the comments. I don't know. So let's talk about Thiem first. Whatever. Thiem. Okay, yeah. Thiem was what do I talk about? Thiem. Okay, yeah. Thiem is not really doing well currently. He's injured. After last year, the finals, ATP finals, he has not done well. He was injured. Then I heard he was mentally stressed or something like that. And then he came back, and then he again got his wrist injured. It's not going well for him currently. I think, yeah, he played up until the ATP. He won the US Open, then went to the French, and he lost in the quarterfinals against Schwartzman. And then he went to the ATP finals, I think. I don't know if he played anything. I don't remember. But ATP finals, he made it to the final after defeating Djokovic in the semifinal and lost to Medvedev in the final. So up until then, it was all good. Then in this year, in 2021, Australian Open started, and I think his foot or something was injured, which he didn't really tell about until he lost. I don't know if he told, I didn't know. But after he lost to Wawrinka at the Australian Open, I came to know that he was injured with his foot or something. But he did not stop playing. He then went on to play. No, actually, wait, did he? Yeah, he then went on to play Dubai, I think, where he lost against Lloyd Harris, I think. Yeah, I'm recollecting this from my memory. I didn't really mean to talk about this, but anyway, yeah, I think after that, he actually went on to, I think, rehab and stuff. I don't know. And then at that time, it was there was something about mental issues. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think I read it somewhere. I don't know. So there's been a lot of issues, and then he came back where did he come back? He didn't play Miami. He didn't play Monty. He came back at the French. No, he came back at Geneva. Wait, did he? Yeah, I think he came back at Geneva to do a warm-up before the French Open, but then injured his wrist there, and then he had to skip the French and no, I'm sorry, I'm so stupid. He played the French. He came back and played the French, and he lost in the first round against Andy Har, and then he came back at the French, and then he wanted to play a warm-up before the Wimbledon, and he played what did he play? He played Halle, I think. I don't know which. No, no, not Halle. Mallorca. He played Mallorca and he lost. I mean, he retired. He got the first set. He was going to win, and then he injured his wrist and had to go off again. He couldn't play Wimbledon. He couldn't play Olympics. He hasn't announced anything yet about Cincinnati or Washington or anything, so I don't know when he's gonna come back. Well, so he's currently doing that, but before that, I want to talk about that. Thiem is not really next gen. That is my another topic written down here. He is like 28 years old, I think. Yeah, he's in that range, and the next gen, the so-called next gen, the Medvedev, Tsitsipas, and Zverev and stuff are like 23 to 25 range. So, but Thiem, even though he's not in the same age group, he was doing well. At the same time, the next gen were doing well. So he kind of meshed together there with them, because the four of them were doing well at that time, even though Thiem was a little bit older. Before that, I don't think Thiem really did that much. I don't know. I didn't really hear about them. I heard about these four at the same time. Medvedev was a bit. The first one was Zverev, actually, and then it was Thiem, like popping off, like what was playing well was Zverev, and then I heard of a Thiem. Then it was Tsitsipas. Then lastly, it was Medvedev. Tsitsipas and Medvedev were close in me when I came across them. I was a bit late, to be honest. So yeah, he's not really, with them in the age group wise, but he was performing well with them, time period wise. I don't know what I'm saying here. Anyway, so that was one thing I'd written down. What else? So yeah, he was playing well. I think out of these four, he was the best player. Like, until like no, he was the best player like last year and the year before that, like Medvedev did at the end, but still he was the one who was putting pressure on, the big three and stuff at the Grandslams. He was the one there. I think he was there in the French Open 2017, if I'm not 17, 18. Wait. No, 18 and 19. Yeah, he was in the final against Nadal in 2018 in French Open. Yeah, he was very good in clay, as everyone know, and he was the only one putting pressure on Nadal at the French Open. He beat Djokovic consistently at clay or French Open, and then went on to lose against Nadal in the final at the French Open. He did that twice, I think, in a row, in 2018 and 2019, and then in 2020, he went on to the final again in Australian Open, beating Nadal in semifinals and getting to the final in against Djokovic. Against Djokovic, and he was this close to winning. Like, he was 2 sets. No, he was really close. He was supposed to win that match. Everyone thought he was going to win that match, and Djokovic just came out of nowhere. Like, it was his match to win. Like Thiem was everyone thought it was Thiem. Like, I don't know how Djokovic came back from that. Like, against Tsitsipas here this year, but like this year, like, I knew at the French Open, even after he dropped the first 2 sets, I knew like the match isn't over. He is gonna come back. Like, the 5th set I was like, okay, this is the set. I knew it was going to the 5th set after the first 2 sets. I knew like the first 2 sets didn't mean anything there. Like everyone knew, like, yeah, the match isn't over. But at the Australian Open against Thiem, it wasn't like that. It actually looked like he was going to lose, and somehow he lost. I mean, Thiem lost. I don't know. He won. Djokovic won. So that was a really close one. So like, he was the one out of these four who was actually putting pressure on these guys at the Grand Slams and stuff. So I think out of these four at the time, Thiem was the best. Then he is the only Grand Slam champion out of them, even though it is not highly considered. I don't know if it's just me that doesn't really consider that much highly his US Open win. Like, it's big. Don't get me wrong. But if someone out of these three wins the Grand Slam with Djokovic and or Nadal in the draw, like, that would be bigger than Thiem's US Open win. Like, and it didn't help. The final didn't help. That is another thing I've written down here. The US Open win. I want to talk about the US Open win. The US Open in 2020. So Nadal decided not to play because the points were like, he will get the points even though he didn't play. He didn't need to play that year because he was the champion in 2019, and so he would be playing just for the count, the Grand Slam count, and it was like Djokovic was playing US Open, and I think it was strategic by Nadal. Like, he thought he would win. I don't know. He was saving up for the French Open because the US Open and French Open was very close together. And at that time, the US Open, like, the US was not really that safe in terms of COVID. So yeah, there was a lot of cases there also. So there may be multiple factors why Nadal didn't play. But Nadal decided not to play, and Djokovic was there. And as we all know, I don't think anyone, even out of tennis, everyone knows, who doesn't follow tennis knows the default by Djokovic at the US Open in 2020. Who was he playing against? I don't remember who he is. Essentially, he hit the ball in the throat or something of the line umpire, and he was defaulted. So then it was like, after he was out, it was like, oh, there will be a new champion. So it needed Djokovic to be defaulted, Nadal not to play, and Federer was like nowhere to be seen, for a new champion to come out of it. So already everyone was like, oh, this is not really that, yeah, I don't know, that prestigious. I mean, because they weren't there. But still, it's big. Don't get me wrong. Like, among them, but like everywhere else, these three were there to block somebody else getting there. So that they were the only reason there was not a new champion. So like, when you take them out of the equation, like, obviously it would be easier. So when it becomes easier, it becomes less prestigious, I guess. So anyway, so yeah, everyone was like, okay, it was not that everyone. Okay, I'm fumbling here. Yeah, so already it was not that prestigious. Like, the prestige value is. Okay, so there was a cut there because my power failed on me. It went off, and so I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. So there was a cut. Anyway, I was talking about, the final. Like, after Novak was defaulted, then there would be a new champion, and it was a Thiem versus Zverev final, which was very bad. A very bad final. Everyone would agree with that. It was a grind. It was a 5-set match where both of them was playing not very well. Thiem was playing well the whole well, not that well, not like he plays, but like it was not that bad. And then in the final, it was just really bad. Like, and Zverev was like so also very bad. Like, Zverev didn't even have to beat a top 10 player to get to the final. So that also was like how like a final without beating a top 10 player. So it's like, everything made that US Open very, not good in a lot of sense. So yeah, the final was horrendous, and there was a door closing there. Sorry about that. Anyway, it was very horrendous, and Thiem won in the end after getting 2 sets up. Somehow lost 2 sets to Zverev, and then again in the 5th set. It was a close match, very close match. It ended in the tiebreaker in the 5th set, but even though it was that close, the match was so bad. Anyway, I think that everyone thought that. Like, even the commentators after the match was like, well, that match was very close, at least, or something like that. Like, he did not call it an exciting match or a good match or anything. Yeah, so that made the US Open win a bit, Let's move on. I'm not getting the word to describe the US Open very well, that US Open very well, and I'm just getting stuck when I'm trying to say it. Anyway, so that even though he's so he won the Grand Slam there, but like it's not as prestigious as beating Novak at the Australian Open and winning it there. So it's like he could have done that, but like if anyone was to win that year, that US Open, like except the big, them, like Thiem deserved it. Like after he won it, even though like there was no one to, do anything again. I mean, like, there was no big three, or like the final was very bad, or like with stuff like that. Even if after he won it, I thought like this guy actually deserves it. He should have won that Australian Open. So it's like he was like in the final a lot of times before this. So if Zverev had won that, oh man, like I would have been pissed. Because I really don't like the guy. Like I'm indifferent towards him. I like Thiem, like he's one of the nicest people in the tour, I think, right now. Yeah, yes, but like if Zverev won it, like it would have been very undeserved if he won that. So happy Thiem won it. Like out of everyone, I would want Thiem to win because he deserved that. In 2020, that year, he was the best. I think out of except for the big three, like he was not the big three, like Djokovic and Nadal. Anyway, so yeah. That was the US Open win with Thiem. This is pretty long already. I didn't think this would be this long, but I think this is gonna go on for like 45 minutes. I don't know. So after the US Open win, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've talked about everything. So yeah, he is like, I think out of the new guys, in the lead right now with the Grand Slam championships, with the Grand Slam finals and stuff like that. And now I'm gonna move on to Zverev. Like the power cut has actually really derailed my, talking. Like I'm really annoyed now. Anyway, let's move on to Zverev. I also want to talk about Zverev. He, as I told you, like, he was the first one, like, besides he was the first breakout, out of the new guys, in my opinion. I think that he was making, like, the headlines, like, when I was not starting to watch, like, actually, like, followed it very closely, like, in 2017 and stuff. Like, he was the one, like, after Murray and Djokovic, and, like, he was, like, winning a lot of Masters and making, like, beating Federer and Djokovic and Nadal and stuff like that, and he was the first one to get Masters, and like he had a lot going for him. Like at the beginning, like he was the one, like he was the first, he was the breakout. After that, like Thiem, like I think I'm right about this. I don't know if Thiem did like well before that, or I'm pretty sure Zverev was like the first one like that made like a big competition against the big three. And yes, but then he just like did not really push through in that momentum into the Grand Slams. Um, he still has the most Masters title. He won one this year, but he just plays very badly on Grand Slams, in Grand Slams. Like he still hasn't beaten a top 10 player yet. He lost against who did he lose against? Felix Auger-Aliassime at the Wimbledon. He lost against someone who was at the French Open. He lost against Tsitsipas, in the semifinals. That also was strange, that semifinal. I don't know how that went 5 sets. Like, I don't know how Zverev squeezes out these 5 sets, even though like the whole match, I'm like, what the other guy is playing? Like, other guys should win, but like he somehow squeezes it out to 5 sets and then goes to lose. I don't know if that's just me who feels that. Anyway, like we all know, like he does not really do well at Grand Slams. So yeah. He also made it he was the one against Thiem at the 2020 US Open, and yeah, like it was, I think he beat Karen Busta in the semifinals to get to the final, while Thiem had to beat Medvedev in the semifinal, Medvedev was the finalist last year in the 2019, who went 5 sets against Nadal. So it's like Thiem was like, okay, he at least beat Medvedev, the last year's finalist, while Zverev beat Busta, who now is in the the semifinals of the Olympics. But like Busta the first time I've heard of Busta was in the I'm like going in so many tangents here. Maybe I should save that for another day. I'm not gonna talk about that now. Anyway, so he if he won that US Open, it would have been it would have been very undeserved. In my opinion, maybe you guys think differently. I don't know. My opinions on Zverev, I don't really like him. I don't really care. Like even at the beginning, like I was like, okay, but I didn't really support him or anything. Like I didn't really like his play style or like what he brought to the table. So yeah, I was really indifferent about him. While Thiem, I really liked because he's really nice, but I was not yet a fan of him. Like I liked him. When he won, I was happy. I wanted him to win if he was playing against someone. And I was rooting for him against like Nadal and stuff in the French Open because I'm a Federer fan and I don't want the tally to be, to overtake him. So like I was rooting for him in the French Open finals and stuff, and like he's really nice. Everyone likes him. So I really like Thiem. Zverev, don't really care. Tsitsipas, he's growing on me. At first he was like, I did not like him. Then now it's like, okay, then like it's like he just says stuff and like it goes like, okay, I don't care. Maybe I like him, And Medvedev is the one who I'm rooting for now after Federer. I don't know what it is about. I know what it is about him, like his I don't care attitude. That is what drawn me to him. Like he does not care like what he says, or like he's very honest about everything in his interviews or anything. He does seem a little childish on the court, like he doesn't bring it off the court. That's why I still support him, even though on the court he's like a bit too much arrogant. Maybe like he sometimes mocks opponent and stuff. Like, yeah, it like sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's like rude, but like that stays on the court only, and it I feel like it's just like venting and like frustration building up, and he's just trying to push them out by just doing so like some nonsensic what non okay wait anyway, so yeah, I think he just does that, and then off the court he doesn't really go after anyone or talk bad about anyone, or like he just says, and he doesn't like he says what he wants to say about any question he's asked or something. Like, yeah, so that's why I'm still supporting him. If he says something off court like that's really rude or something, yeah, I may be my opinion may change, but at the moment, yeah, he's childish on the court, but like off the court he like it seems like he's really professional. I don't know how I got to Medvedev there. Yeah, I was talking about all of them, how I feel about them. So, okay, this is not that long. Like, I thought, like, I had Thiem written down and then Zverev written down. So I was like, Thiem wasn't still over when when I came back after the power cut. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be really long. But then I realized I was end of the team, and like I didn't really have that much to talk about Zverev, except that he has the most masters and he was the first breakout pretty much. But do I have anything else to talk about Zverev? I don't know why he can't deliver on Grand Slams. I really haven't watched that much of his matches to really analyze, or like, oh, this is where he goes wrong, or like to see why he fails in Grand Slams. Maybe you can tell me in the comments or something. I don't know. But yeah, he has not really done well in Grand Slams. Maybe this US Open maybe good for him. He's a finalist even though he didn't beat a top 10. Like, I don't know if that's happened before or not. Like, yeah. Anyway, so I think that's pretty much it. How long has this been? Like, I think it's like 40 minutes. Last episode was like 30 minutes. So I thought it would go. Yeah, I said 45 minutes. It's 40. Do I want to extend it? No. Anyway, yeah, it's, as I said, this is very hard to come up with topics. So if you guys have any suggestions for me to talk about or research on, or like find something out and like talk to you guys about anything, like you could put it down in the comments. Like, put anything down in the comments, really. Like, it means a lot. Like the video. I've really not done this like before, so it's really weird. And subscribe. Yeah, and watch more podcasts. I don't know. Like, if this, like the last episode, I'm gonna talk about this. Like, even though I shouldn't really talk about this. Nah, I'm not gonna talk about this. So yeah, this is just me like talking endlessly about, like, it doesn't make sense what I talk about. It's like, I don't think I'm fit for this, but I enjoy it. Like, the last episode was like I was having a heart attack throughout. I was like talking without breathing. Now I'm actually breathing and like taking a minute. That's why I think this is a bit longer. Like, I'm taking a minute, I'm like pausing a lot. I did pause a lot in the last one as well, but that was just because I couldn't find the words. Here I'm like, taking it easy. I am like enjoying this, like to talk about stuff that, some topics that I'm interested in or something like that, but it's really hard to come up with topics. So please, if you have any topics, comment down. And if you have any other opinions, like against my opinions, like if you think my opinions is wrong, like you can say that in the comments. I read it and I'm like, okay, thanks for that opinion. Like, it may change my opinion as well. I don't know. I don't know why I'm going forever talking about this. Anyway, gonna stop this here. See you guys next week with the third episode with some more good topics, hopefully. And yeah, comment, like, subscribe. Bye.